Well, hello and welcome to the channel. I am Corvette Hop. This is the first time visiting the channel. Please go ahead and subscribe. Today we're going to work on the speedometer drive gear. We're going to change out the drive gear that is actually located on the back end of the transmission. Now some of you may have a speedometer that is 3-6 miles over or under. Changing out that drive gear could fix the speedometer problem. With that, let's go ahead and get started and hey, keep those cars on the road. Now let's go ahead and pull that speedometer drive gear housing on the back side of the transmission. Go ahead and jack the car up enough so you can get up under the car. Of course, follow all safety procedures when jacking. The speedometer gear housing is located on the back side of the transmission. Simply follow the speedometer cable and it'll lead you right to it. This is what it looks like installed. We'll go ahead and get a pair of pliers and go ahead and remove the speedometer cable. Once the speedometer cable is removed, we will use a 1/2-inch socket to go ahead and remove the bolt holding the housing in place. This is what the bolt looks like along with the housing hold down. Next, we'll go ahead and remove the housing and the gear. Simply just wiggle it back and forth because it is holding in against the gear. Now go ahead and pull out the gear housing and the gear all at once. Make sure you have a drip pan underneath the gear housing because a lot of times you do get a lot of fluid that comes out. Now that we have the housing and the drive gear removed, let's go ahead and talk about each one of them. Now this is what the speedometer gear drives look like. Now they do come in different sizes. For example, over here is 39 teeth, 38, 37, 36, and 35, and 34 teeth. Over here we have a 40, 42, and 41. There are more, I just don't have those on hand. It does matter what type of housing they go in. For example, this housing right here is for the larger teeth. If you put a smaller tooth in there, it'll be loose and wobble around. Therefore, you need the right housing for the right gear. One other thing to check. Inside here is a gasket or O-ring. Make sure that that is changed out. And the one around here is changed out. Normally, I put some transmission fluid around it just to make sure you get a good seal, especially if they're new. You don't want to tear them up before you put them on. So change out the one on the inside here and the one on the outside before you reinstall. Each tooth will make a difference of about 2.5 to 3 miles per hour, indicating on your speedometer. Currently I have a 36 tooth in my speedometer drive housing, so I'm 6 miles per hour too slow. Therefore I'm going to go with a 34 tooth. The nice thing is there are online calculators that can help you calculate the exact tooth size that you need for your car. You'll need to know the tire size, the drive gear tooth count, which is 18 for this 1969 Corvette, the rear axle gear ratio, which is 3.8 for this car. With that, you can go to this type of calculator, just like this. Again, once you get to the website, input the tire size, the rear gear ratio, and the number of teeth in the driven gear. I'll also put the link below in the comments. As mentioned earlier in the video, we're going to go ahead and replace the O-ring and seal around the gear housing. I'm going to go ahead and coat the gear housing with some transmission fluid, just so that the O-rings go in smoothly. Of course, my goal is to install the O-ring and seal without any damage. I'll also go ahead and apply some transmission fluid on the drive gear. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is mission complete. Go ahead and take the car for a drive and check the results on your speedometer. Again, Corvette friends, thank you for watching. If you really liked what you saw and learned something, go ahead and subscribe on the bottom left-hand side of this screen. With that, keep those cars on the road.